Yes, people, welcome back to Premzy TV. Man's here today to discuss the problems in the transfer window for Arsenal. And I've got my good friend with me here today, Billy. Obviously, you don't really know Billy. His first podcast he's on, but he's an Arsenal fan and he's a true Arsenal fan. So I want everyone to make sure you comment in the comments and also give it up for Billy. So Billy, talk to me, man. Where do you think we are in the transfer window? 4 days left.
You know,
And we've got fuck all in, Billy. Absolutely fuck
bro,
all in.
it's a shambles, isn't it? I mean, right from beginning to end, bro. The whole process, getting rid of players, not having no one lined up, and it's just all of a bit of a joke, isn't it? You know what I mean? It comes down to the board. What are these guys doing? It's their job. They've got 12 months in a year, and they've got literally nothing to show for it.
Well, we're being linked to Douglas Luiz and we're being linked to Victor Osimhen. Obviously, we failed on Bruno Gomes. I don't know how hard we were in for Bruno Gomes, but you know, Edu's been chasing this guy for a long time. As Arsenal fans, we all know that. And also on Vlahovic, spent most of the window so far chasing a guy that never really picks his phone up to us. What do you make of that? Would you like Luiz?
I think Douglas Luiz is known in the Premier League. He's obviously had a stint at Man City. Arteta were there. He knows him. One thing to me that points out about this guy, I automatically assumed this Douglas Luiz was a lot older than what he seemed. 23 seems like he's been around for a long time. He's a good player. He's quality, but the level of plays that we should be getting at Arsenal should not come to Douglas Luiz. We're not that kind of club. That's a kind of signing you'd expect West Ham to make. No doubt. I mean, West Ham, that level, they'd happily take a play like that. But for us, we don't need that.
What about Victor Osimhen?
Victor Osimhen is a striker that I've looked at for a long time. I've kept my eye on him because he's a quality player. He were originally the Pepe replacement at Leo. When we bought Pepe off Leo, they actually signed Osimhen. And if you compare the stats between Osimhen and Pepe was actually performing better than Osimhen, and he was playing as obviously a second striker. So with Osimhen, I think the potential is there, but whether he comes in and he starts performing straight away, because what we need someone to come in straight away and hit the ground running. A little bit like when we signed Aubameyang a few Januaries ago. He come in and he started scoring. I remember that game against Everton when Mkhitaryan assisted him and he went in and he scored. And that's the kind of player we need, someone to come in and start banging. We don't need a player that's going to come in and take a few months or maybe a year to adjust to the league. And I feel like with Osimhen, especially with his injuries he's had this year, I'm not sure if he'll be good for us. But is a signing to get excited by. I mean, if you're going to throw big bucks at someone like Osimhen, Alexander Isak is there. Edu loves playing the release clauses. He's got a release clause of 75 million. Put the money down. Do you know what I mean?
Edu is a joke for me, Billy. Like Edu, Vinay, these guys, they don't have a clue what they're doing. They're all on different wavelengths. Yeah. Just
Edu is the biggest clown of them all. For me personally, I think the guy needs to go. He needs to pack his bags and he needs to hand in his notice and say I'm off. Because in Brazil, I was reading reports back in Brazil, this guy, when he joined Arsenal, they said, look, you know what? This Edu guy, you may be all gassed, but he's not as good as you're making him out to be, which is true. You know what I mean? Edu is not one of them people who seems to get the job done. We had Raul in. If we had Raul still as in Edu's role right now, we would have had Vlahovic wrapped up, no doubt. He would have found a way to do Juventus.
It's a bit dodgy, you know what I mean? He would have been giving out more envelopes.
But all these big clubs have got someone like that in them. You look at Man City now, for example. What's that guy's name? They've got Texi something from Barcelona. They had.
Yeah, but you know what it is though, Billy. We still got Aubameyang there. Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, fair enough. He's being punished. Listen, he's being punished, but is the extent of the punishment now is becoming beyond a joke. How man's not traveling and he's our highest paid player. I don't understand that. I agree with him being punished for being late and certain things. You get me? Because I'd be doing that. But there's like a. How can I explain it now? It's like
you got to have a consistency with it.
Yeah,
bro. You got to have a
with players. Granit Xhaka as well. He's back in the team. You know, he done worse.
The prime example with this is you look at the red cards. Pepe got one against Leeds, wasn't it? When he headbutted that Albanian dude. Pepe got one then, and Xhaka got one before. Xhaka's red card. Arteta come out and said these things happen. Whereas with Pepe's, he come out and he said, this is not acceptable. You can't be doing this, blah, 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 blah. Where is the consistency in the man management? Then people rate him for his man management, but there is little things that he does which is wrong. Aubameyang, I was telling you earlier, stat-wise, he's had the second most shots in our team. The first player is Bukayo Saka, but he's a young lad. We shouldn't be putting that burden on his shoulders. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think Arteta's man management is good. I think he is absolutely shit at man managing players, because there's been so many instances. If you just listen, there's been so many instances, like, for example, the William Saliba situation. Now, this is a kid that's been one of the most highly rated players. I understand with players going on loan and learning and stuff like that, but there was plenty opportunities for him to play at the time he was at Arsenal, and he was not given a sniff. Yeah. He's now saying that he wants to come back and play at Arsenal. Now, this is the situation where I want to see, because I can see Arteta's definitely going to be here by next season. I'm telling you now for a fact, whether we get top 4 or not, because the board, they don't have a clue what they're doing. So he's going to end up coming back now, yeah? If he's still got a chip on his shoulder, it's just going to fuck him off. Do you know what I mean? And that's what he does with every player, Billy. That's got a little bit of something about him, man. Look at Guendouzi. He's killing it up in France. He can't do. He's not getting this. Won't get a sniff back in this team.
I think with them two, touching on that, I agree with you. The way he's dealt with them two players is wrong. I mean, Guendouzi, it was clear to see the guy had talent straight away. And looking at Guendouzi in his first 2 seasons for us, and watching Lokonga now, Guendouzi looks heads and shoulders above Lokonga. You know what I mean? And it should have been Lokonga that went out on loan and Guendouzi that stayed. That's where he fucked up. But then the Saliba situation, we need to respect him for that, because it's allowed Saliba to grow even further as a player. He lost his mother, and throwing him in the Premier League straight away, it would have just been a bit of a too much to ask for him, especially if he didn't take off. Fans would be on his back. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't care how old he is.
Yeah, but do you know what it is? The one thing about us fans, Billy, listen, the one thing about us fans, we give young players a chance. Now, there was opportunity there for Saliba to come in and play over the likes of Mustafi, to a player like Saliba. That's a kick in the dick. You get me, bro? Like, my man's watching Mustafi playing.
And that's why there's rumours that have been coming out now, him saying himself that I'm happy at Marseille. I want to stay in this league. Because end of the day, he knows, but that league is very, very weak to the Premier League. But in a few years, Saliba will be a world-class player. We've got a bit of a knack for letting players go and they turn out to be quality. One of the prime examples is Serge Gnabry. Yeah, he went on loan with Tony Pulis, and he said he was not good enough. And then he had a spell in German league before he went to Bayern, and he weren't good enough. But the bottom line is you look at him now, that isn't him all of a sudden just improving and waking up overnight and turning into a beast. That's called coaching. He got coached into the player that he is now. And I feel like with Saliba going abroad into France, playing under different managers and learning the style of football there, it'll be wicked. And I think he'll come back.
Yeah, but learning the style of football in France and learning the style of football in England, totally different, bro. I would have rather him go on loan to a Premier League, like a lower team Premier League team, just to get that physicality and the learning of the Premier League. What's your light gone? What's up?
Nah, the light's gone off. It's not coming on, but it's cool, man. You can see me in it.
Yeah. So basically, another situation here. Ainsley. He's helped out Mourinho and shipped off Ainsley there. He's doing up right back now at Roma, bro. And he's a player who's versatile, can cover for Tomiyasu, can cover in the middle, was the man of the match in his last midfield performance, bro. Didn't have a sniff after that. That is shit man management. That's just daft. Why are you going to send off players to go on loan to help out other managers that clearly hate the club and not have anyone in place? What's going on with you? Oh.
Just put the car on there. It should be cool now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, everything's good, man. But like I was just saying there, bro, it's just stuff like that just pisses me off, And it's like, how can nobody see it? Vinay, Edu, and Arteta, they're not on the same page. They're not on the same page at all, bro. And it comes down to this transfer window, because if they were all on the same page, shit would have been done quick and fast. Because the position we were in after December, Billy, was a very good position. It even gave man belief and hope to think, you know what? It's a good chance we could push and get fourth here, because other teams around us ain't playing so well. But the start of the window comes, bro. We're 4 days away now. from the close of the window. The same old Arsenal, leave it to lastminute.com, get ripped off, get your pants pulled down. This is what happens to us. And now the damage is already done because we didn't invest at the start. We just let players go when we had vital games and left ourselves in. And that just comes down to the manager, nobody else but the manager, Billy. Do you not hear where I'm coming from?
No, 100%. You know what? Management there has been poor. Like, it comes down to Maitland-Niles going on loan and him playing right back for Jose Mourinho when he's turned around and said to Arteta, I don't want to play right back, I want to play midfield. But because he's getting game time, he's willing to play wherever the hell they put him. And it is coming down to, like this guy Rohan said, the board and ownership are so incompetent, they won't sack Arteta even if you finish outside of Europe again.
Exactly.
The board are incompetent. You know what I mean? The guy, he's right there. They're incompetent because they're expecting Arteta to come in and be like another Wenger, where they'll give him a 10-year contract if he wants. And they'll say, listen, you scrape the barrel every year, you make us a bit of money, and we'll keep you. You're staying in the job. Arsenal's job is one of them where it's comfortable for whatever manager comes in. As long as they know a bit about the club, tradition-wise, they'll stay. They won't go. And I feel like for us, where we missed the trick is Edu coming in as the director when Overmars has done his thing at Ajax. Look at the way Ajax are recruiting and the way they're playing. That's who we should have pulled in. Overmars or Dennis Bergkamp, one of them two. They would come in. They've got an eye for talent. Right now, as an Arsenal club, we're used to us picking up on other teams' players, which they wanted to get rid of. Barcelona can't get Morata in at the minute. Why? Because they're having that problem registering players. So they're trying to sell someone, and it's clear to see who that player is they're trying to sell. Frankie de Jong. They've published it for a long, long time. If this club have got anything about them, they would say to Barcelona, right, here's 50 million, 60 million. We want de Jong. Get de Jong in, all our problems in midfield sorted. Him and Partey would complement each other that good. There'd be no problem.
But it's going back to another thing about Arteta and his daftness, And like I said, Simeone wanted Torreira to play alongside Thomas Partey, So there clearly must be something in that partnership. Arteta's not even give that a try, yet Torreira's our player. You know what I mean?
What it is with that?
Some stuff that's a bit...
Yeah, like with that, you've touched the right idea there. Simeone wanted to play Partey and Torreira together because Torreira would have been that number 6 that sits, and Partey would have been that number 8 that goes forward, and he's got the freedom and he's not having to carry the defense on his shoulders. Torreira would have mopped up at the back. And that's what Simeone wanted to do. And that's why he was very, very pissed when he paid Partey's release clause on the last day, because it fucked his plans up. I feel if we didn't get Partey, he would have bought Torreira in by now. He would have played him. Would have been there. But the board again, if you look, the players that we've loaned out, you look at Torreira and you look at Guendouzi, they've got obligations to buy. So that club can pay the amount that we've already agreed with them before they've even played for that club, and they're paying that amount. Now, you look at Torreira, for example. I've watched Fiorentina, obviously, over the past couple of games because I've been watching Vlahovic myself because we were heavily linked to him. I've been watching their games, and Torreira has been their best player. He's held their midfield together. Alongside Bonaventura, he's held it down. He scored when I watched the last game when they won the big score. And the thing is, it comes down to, if we didn't have that obligation where they agreed to pay this amount, we could easily say to them, right, this guy, he's still young, 30 million, 35 million. That's how you work as a club. You look at Chelsea, when they sell their players, they pull the other team's pants down. Their players are bang average, but they get good fees for their players because the way they are set up is right. Whereas the way we are set up is wrong. And then, prime example, what's that centre-back's name that we've got loaned out in the German league?
Mavropanos, exactly, bro. I was going to come on to him because Bayern Munich want him.
Yeah,
you know
and
that.
Exactly, bro. Like, Bayern Munich want this guy, and we've apparently agreed a £5 million fee with the club that he's currently at. So that team that he's currently at is going to be licking their lips because they're going to be thinking 5 million.
They just made a quick drink. They made a quick drink on him.
Yeah, and Bayern will easily pay 20-30 million for him, and he's been the best defender in that league since he's been there, and the year before. Last season he was there, wasn't he? And he was there this season. So
this is just the story, though, Billy, man. Like, of Arsenal Football Club, they've You tell me the last time we've had a really, really sensible, good window. Get me? Out of all these years, only a few players out of this window that we've got look all right.
You know what it is? What people need to we've never had a window where we could walk away and as fans say that was a good window, because this summer window, the players that we got, they've done better than what we expected. And the players we signed Ramsdale, Sheffield United, they were relegated. So coming to Arsenal, he wasn't going to say no.
Nobody wanted him anyway. Trust me, nobody wanted him when he first came in.
Yeah, Ben White from Brighton, we paid 50 mil. They were never going to say no. And there were not many big clubs sniffing around him. So we had an easy run at him. And then Lokonga was a youngster, Tavares and Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu was obviously, he's been a good player for us, but not many people were sniffing around him. Because these players we've got, we had no competition to get them. Now, any time there's a bit of competition for a player that we're after with another club, we can't seem to pull it off. And that comes down to the board. If money's not working, the history of the club should work. Arsenal is still a big club.
But at the moment, it looks like we're a big club in name now, Billy. I swear down, this is how it's coming, because we can't even get 21-year-olds signed over the line. And if we're that big, like, trust me, realistically, you got to think about it now. Until you're in the Champions League here now, you're not going to attract like the Lewandowskis and the Benzemas and the players like that are Harry Kanes of the world. Unless you want to get somebody that's up and coming, you got to pay. You got to pay.
If we were in the Champions League this season, that Vlahovic would have been an Arsenal player. No doubt, because Juventus are in a bigger mess than us. They're in the same kind of thing. They're rebuilding. But if you look at their league right now, Inter Milan are walking that league. Inter Milan, they're not even top four. Inter Milan, there's Napoli, there's AC Milan, and there's Atalanta. So they're not even competing for Champions League spots at the minute. They're a bit off. So they're in a rebuild as well. Now, for this guy to go there, he knows that I'm used to that league. And Juventus are usually the top dogs of that team. But what he don't realize is with Juventus, Ronaldo couldn't do anything there. He couldn't guide them to anything that they haven't already got. So what difference is he going to make? You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? I would have loved to have him. But now knowing that his heart wasn't in Arsenal, bro, you can go fuck off, bro. Because if your heart's not in it, don't want to play. If you just want to play for the money,
you don't want to play. Because the only thing that would have happened with this guy is if we signed him on and there were the big wages that were being throwing around, 300k a week and whatnot. Imagine when it comes to renewing his deal. What's there to stop this guy from saying, I've got you Champions League football now. I want 500 grand a week. You know, Man U's problem.
I think Arteta thinks he's bigger than what he is, you know, bro. That's how it feels to me.
You know, Arteta, he does think he's a lot bigger than what he is. But our problem is you look at Manchester United now, I'm glad we dodged a bullet with this Vlahovic, because end of the day, he would have just caused us problems in the long run. You look at Man U's wage structure, When we sold them Alexis Sanchez, he went there for 500 grand a week, right? Now, 500 grand a week, that made De Gea speak up. De Gea wanted to increase. They increased De Gea's wage. He's on about 400 grand a week now. Cavani's coming. He's on about 180, 200 grand a week. A lot of their players are
United have always been playing big wages, man. United are one of them that they can afford to pay him and just get rid of players and buy new players.
They're starting to feel it now, though. That's the thing, innit? They're starting to feel it now. And, you know, if the Premier League do what they've done in Spain and introduce a wage cap, they're going to be suffering. They're going to be Barcelona number 2 because of how high their wage bill is for average players. That's the problem. And we couldn't afford to do that with Vlahovic. We couldn't afford to get him in on 300 grand a week before he's even played for the club. And then if he did guide us to Champions League, he'd want even more money. And then what's there to not stop Bukayo Saka coming to the board and saying, right, I'm better than this guy. I want more money.
Do you know what, though? What says that you can't go into the Premier League and grab an Ollie Watkins or somebody like that? You know, because like you say, you don't always have to make them big, massive signings, because Ollie Watkins, I think, is decent. You know, Ivan Toney's a decent striker.
Yeah,
bro,
he's what I was going to come on to. Ivan Toney, he would come to us and he would suit us down to a T, because he's clinical when he's given the chance and he's a presence. I've not seen many people come against Van Dijk and body Van Dijk like he has. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That shows he's got a physical presence about him. The thing that alarms me the most is looking at statistics. Everyone who watches Arsenal, all these fans will know, we're one-dimensional. We play down the wing, we cross the ball in with a cross, and we try to hope for the best. But our crosses, we're the most for crosses, but when it comes to accuracy, 25% of our crosses have reached their target. Now, you answer that to me. If it's not working, change it. You know what I mean? But they're not changing it. And then
Watford are moving more ruthless than us as a club, bro. Like, they've sacked a Premier League winner and that. Like, it's a mad thing.
Yeah. I mean, forget all that. End of the day, that's another topic we can come on. It's the transfer market. In terms of recruitment, Aston Villa and Newcastle, with them signing Bruno Guimaraes, are looking like they've had a better window than us when they're not playing for nothing. You know what I mean? We're playing to get Champions League.
Money, and it just shows the drive of the owners, because it's the owners of that club that are pushing it. Our owners are they're watching ice hockey games and that, bro. That's what our owners are on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, money. The thing is, though, it's like they've got that Vlahovic money that they've not spent on him. So there was clearly 60, 70 million, whatever it was, set aside to get him. Now he's not come. The next best area for us to improve is midfield. So why not go and get two midfielders in? If Douglas Luiz is one of them, we should be looking at someone else. Renato Sanchez should come in as well. Both of them.
He's too injury prone, Renato Sanchez, though, bro. Like, he gets injured
all the time. That's the thing, innit? Like, that's the thing, innit? If you sign someone like Douglas Luiz, when Renato Sanchez is injured, you've got a quality replacement there for him, Douglas Luiz. Do you know what I mean?
We need two strikers, you know, bro. Like, it's not even just
two
one
strikers
striker
we're going to need, because Eddie Nketiah is not signing a contract. I'm glad he isn't, to be honest. Yeah. He's not signing a deal. Lacazette's not going to sign a deal. And Aubameyang is being banished from the team. So that all our strikers...
And Balogun as well. Another daft decision. Balogun to Middlesbrough. Like, he needs a loan, but I would have Balogun come on than Nketiah.
Yeah, I'd rather have him coming on than Eddie Nketiah. I agree, because if that's where, like, Arteta, you got to question him, because Nketiah is not signing a new deal. I don't know whether he's giving him these minutes to try and convince him to sign a deal, or whether he just wants to play him. He's got a thing for him. Do you know what I mean? Because with Nketiah, we should not be putting him on. Now Pepe's coming back as well from AFCON. They got knocked out. Now he's coming back. We should never see Nketiah step foot on that field for us again. He should stick to Carabao Cups and he should stick to things like that, but he should never come on for us again on the pitch, because he offers nothing. He's a poacher, but he's not our kind of player. He should go to someone like Palace or someone like that. What do you make of Calvert-Lewin, as this guy said? What do you think?
This is what I was going to get onto. You know what? I'm actually a fan of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because he's not old at all.
I'm a fan of Calvert-Lewin as well, but I just feel like with Calvert-Lewin, is he really that striker that's going to bang goals, 20 goals in a season? I don't think he's got that in him.
No, I don't think he's got it in him as well. But the one thing he's going to give us, is that Premier League experience. And that's something that we've lacked for many years. You know, we've not had a striker that we brought from that's already got Premier League experience. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think what we should be smart as a club. We should... Alexander Isak is my dream signing. We should get him and develop him into a player that he can be. We all know he can be a quality player. Develop him, but while you develop him, take a gamble and get one of these players from the lower end teams, the like of Ollie Watkins and players like that. Danny Ings is another one we should have looked at. Look at Southampton, who were banging 15, 20 goals in for him. We should have looked at Danny Ings, and we should have got Danny Ings in. You know what I mean? I'm sure it was a next to nothing transfer fee as well, and he would have happily come and sit on our bench. And when we needed someone coming on, he would have come on. But I suppose for us, we've not looked at players in the striker position, because we didn't think we'd get in this position where we are now for a striker. You know what I mean? Our main area before this, like, we thought strikers were set because Lacazette were there, Aubameyang were there. I'll be honest, they didn't think Nketiah were going to do what he's done now. They thought he'd sign a deal, so they thought strikers is done. But if we don't get a striker in this window going forward, I want to see Martinelli go in the striker role and Smith Rowe playing on the left. Play that kind of football and focus on the midfield. The results will come.
So basically, this January transfer window, Billy, who do you think's to blame for us not having no signings? Who is it to actually blame? Is it the manager? Is it the owners? Is it the board? Who do you put it down to?
It's the board, isn't it? Because if you look at it right now, Arteta, you've got to rate him in a way, because last night David Ornstein come out and he said Edu has gone to Juventus. He's agreed a deal for $500,000, 18-month loan with an obligation to buy. Now, he's also put on that tweet that the hierarchy have said no, they're not sanctioning that deal, meaning that someone, either the manager or Kroenke, have said that we don't want this guy in. Now, I highly doubt Kroenke would say to them, we're not getting him, because he's put money there for the club to spend. I feel like it's Arteta saying, no, I don't want him for that long. If he was to get Arthur in, he'd want him for 6 months just to plug a hole till the summer and see how he is, judge him like he did with Odegaard, and then decide whether he's going to buy him or not.
But this is it. If you're an owner, Billy, you're an owner, you don't want your manager having to come up to you and say to you, oh, I don't want this player because this guy's getting him and I don't want him. That just shows you're not on the same page, like I've said before.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? This is a big fuckery.
Like,
big fuckery, man. You can't
feel like with us, the thing is I feel like with us, where we are right now, top 4 is in our grasp. You know what I mean? Third place is open right now because Chelsea, you don't know how they're going to play. 1 week they play wicked and then the next week they play rubbish. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea's not consistent. So even the third place is up for grabs. And I feel like as a club, what we should be doing, we should be maximising our opportunity in this market, because there's players there that we can get. We can't turn around and say there was no one there for us to get, because there's players out there. Newcastle are signing Guimaraes. We could get him. Strikers, there's a large list of strikers. It's just they're very picky on their criteria. Do you know what I mean? And they need to fix up, because they don't realise that if we don't get top 4 this season, we're just falling deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole, and eventually we're not going to be able to get out of it.
They don't work smart enough, Billy. They don't work smart enough, because if you're a smart person, you're going to know January is going to be a vital start of the year, vital to the season, You've just had a very good December, Say it gives you the first, week. The first week you can't get Vlahovic over the line, Move on straight away. You must have to go in. You must have to go into a window. Listen, you must have to go into a window, with 4 or 5 players on your list, not just one player. That just shows levels of inexperience, bro.
You know
like
what
if Sven Mislintat was here, Sven Mislintat, best believe, shit won't be happening. Look, he's the person who scouted like Mavropanos and that. And he has a personal experience and scouted loads of players for Borussia Dortmund. And it just shows you it's the inexperience on the board. Edu doesn't have a clue what he's doing, bro. I blame Edu.
100%. Yeah. Edu is the main party in all of this. Edu is the only one that we can blame. But then coming back upon the subject, as a club, Edu is the problem. Do you know what I mean? He needs to pack his bags and go. Overmars is there. Ajax, bring him in. Dennis Bergkamp is there, bring him in. These guys would do something. Edu just cares about his own pocket. You know what I mean? We got this guy here, Mackenzie Edwards, saying, yo, when you going to show some of your boxing, You know
what? I'm going to bring some.
Not ready for that, man.
I know. But you know what, though? I'm actually going to look to start bringing some boxing podcasts, all the big fights and stuff. So obviously, I know you're in the Ingle gym and stuff and train with Kell Brook from a long time. So I'm looking to maybe have a podcast soon about the Kell Brook and Khan fight, because I'm team Khan, to be honest with you.
I'm team Brook, man. I told you.
I know. This is why we're gonna have to sit down and have it out over the podcast, because I think Khan's got his number.
I don't know, man. I mean, Kell Brook in that fight, I just feel like this is one fight for him that he's wanted, and that hunger comes back into him for this fight. Khan's been there, he's done it, he's won what he needs to win. This guy's mentioned something good. Zakaria for 6 million. Zakaria is a player that, we should look at. But the only problem with Zakaria is he's coming from the same club that we got Granit Xhaka from. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a funny one, because if it were me, I'd avoid it. But for the price that he's quoting there, 6 million, it looks like he'll do the job. And then again, if we get him in for 6 million, it allows us more money to spend somewhere else.
And I do hear that, but we got money there, like you said before. We got money there.
Money's there. Money's never the problem with our club, because we were the biggest spender in summer. We were one of the biggest spenders. But rather than
money, lower it here, yo. We be moving like absolute cheapskates for years, bro. It's only over certain times. We're spending bits, but we don't go out there and spend like proper spend.
That's what I was going to come on. But people are getting on Kroenke's ass, but Kroenke's put money in since he's had 100% ownership of the club. Since Kroenke got 100% ownership, we've got the likes of Pepe in at 70 million, Partey and paid his release clause. Last summer they gave us money, but it weren't Kroenke's decision to spend that money on a mix of players rather than them. If they went out and spent that 150 million on one player, Kroenke wouldn't care. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them where like what they've done is they've took the money from Kroenke and they've got in a number of positions, players for a number of positions. But if they went out and bought, let's say, like a star striker, if they did end up buying Vlahovic last summer for 90 million, Kroenke won't be bothered because he's gave them that money to spend. And again, the money's there, he's giving it. It's just they're not sensible with it. They're not knowing where to use it.
Let me ask you something, yeah. Say we end up sacking, say, Arteta tomorrow, yeah, and we brought in someone like Graham Potter, and you give him 80 million. Do you think he'll do a better job than what Arteta's doing right now at Arsenal?
100%. You don't even need to mention Graham Potter. You look at this link we've got right now to Douglas Luiz, right? Villa have already got a replacement lined up for him. They're looking at that Bentancur from Juventus. They can't get him, Bissouma. Now, we don't need a number 8. We need a number 6. Douglas Luiz is a number 8. He's not a number 6. He's just playing out of position for Aston Villa if you watch the games. So why is Arteta sanctioning a number 8 in Douglas Luiz when Bissouma is there? Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. With Bissouma, you can understand he's got his case going on or whatever he's got going on behind the scenes. But we need to be looking a lot deeper. We need to look for a proper number 6.
So someone here saying you're expecting too much here, yeah? Like, I don't understand what you mean by expecting too much now. Like I've been saying for years, we've been shit for 17 years, bro.
You know what it is? We've been sold a dream, innit, bro? We've been sold a dream. You know what I mean? It's
you
like
move to the Emirates. You move to the Emirates and you just get flushed down the toilet.
You know what
basically.
It is? It's like seeing a car and the car looks good on the adverts, and then when you go and see that car in person, the ar is just a bunch of trash. It's just shit. Do you know what I mean? That's how it is with Arsenal right now. They've made themselves out to be wicked, and then over the past few years, they've just deteriorated, and it's just not where they need to be. And they need to pick up fast. They need to pick their ideas up ASAP, and they can only do that by these windows spending right. Top 4's there for the taking. The positions we need to strengthen, anybody could see that. It's a striker. We're not banging in goals. Our top scorer is Bukayo Saka and Smith Rowe. They're wingers and midfielders. We've not got a striker in there that could, even if we had a striker that could put 15 goals in the net from now to the end of the season, that's enough.
We still need a midfield though, desperately, bro, because when you watch the games,
we still need a midfield.
There's no midfield, bro, and we're looking very thin. Yeah, Partey's got his red card, he'll end up coming back. Xhaka for me.
Partey and
Xhaka just need but he just needs to, bro. He's a liability, bro. He just needs to sit down.
I would happily drive Xhaka to Roma, to Mourinho, and say, here, mate, we don't even want any money for him, take him, because he's a liability. He should not be anywhere near our club. The fact that they gave him a new contract just to say we're trying to save his value, and then they're playing him every single week, it just shows the standards of where we're at as a club. It's just, it's all wrong. It's all messed up. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, this obviously podcast is transfer shocker. For us as fans, it is a shocker because we set our hearts and we had our hopes up for Vlahovic, but it's not gone through. And any normal team, if their main target doesn't go through, they'd have a backup plan. What's our backup plan? Do you know what I mean?
That's it. We've got no backup plan on the pitch, and we've got no backup plan in the transfer market.
Exactly, bro. My point I was going to come on to, we got no backup plan on the pitch, and we got no backup plan in the transfer market, and that's the problem with Arsenal. It's
like people say, mathematically we're not out of the top 4 race, and I know mathematically we're not, but for me personally,
we're not.
It's done unless they go and buy 3-4 players in the last 4 days that we've got, bro. Yeah, and I mean significant players. People might say, oh, it's not easy to get players. But look at Frank Kessie. I've mentioned him loads of times. He's almost out of contract. You put money down, you can get him, bro. Trust me, you tell me how many other teams are dying for Frank Kessie. Not that many. Do you understand what I'm saying? And he'll be a very good number 6. Look, Ivan Toney, we've always, like you said, he's at Brentford, bro. You put the money down, you can get Ivan Toney. Trust me, it can happen. Bissouma, he's been flirting with Arsenal for years.
Yeah, and these players are used to our league, so there's no problem there. But listen, anyway, Premsy, I just clocked it. We've gone over a little.
I know
bit
you got your barber's appointment to do.
I gotta go get my fresh trim, man, ready for the weekend, man.
But nah, big up, Billy, man. It's good having you on and that. I know you wanted to jump on a stream for a while and that, and people as well. I just want to say big up to everyone that's subscribing, everyone that's watching and following, man. I really do appreciate it, and I'll be back with you soon on another stream very shortly. But Billy, big up, man. Love, peace.
Big up, man. Big up,
Premsy, man. And we'll catch up again definitely on another stream.
Yeah, definitely. 100. Like I said, next one we'll look at doing a boxing one. The fight's only 4 weeks away. I know the fans want to see some boxing content, so we'll go get them something good, man.
Yeah. I might even come down to the Ingle gym and that and record the podcast there with you and that, hopefully.
Yeah, now we'll see.
Get the gloves on and have a spar with Kel Brook and that.
Man, we'll get that pattern. But listen, my brother, love then, yeah?
Yeah, my brother, your love.
My brother.
Peace out, people.
Peace out, people, yeah?